Hey, it's JayMay, and today we're going to be making pho soup. So just kind of want to go over some of the ingredients that we're going to be using and how to prepare this and cook this. So the first thing and most important is your beef bone. So you're looking for stuff that's got plenty of marrow in it. And what we're going to do is dump that into this pot here, boil it, get all the protein off of it, and then dump that mixture and then put fresh water back in there after we bake the bones and put it back in there. So for the ingredients, what we're looking at is we're looking at a yellow onion, we're looking at some star anise, fennel seeds, cinnamon sticks. We're using about 2 of those. Coriander, I got the powder, I couldn't find the actual coriander, so fish sauce, and then obviously your pho noodles, So I'm going to go ahead and start putting the meat in here and start this boiling, and then we'll be back when it's about done, and I can show you the steps of that. So I'll go ahead and throw the meat in there right now. Alright, back again, guys. So as you can see, the water's almost boiling, but it's kind of got a cloudy appearance to it. Now, if you look at these bubbles here, that's protein coming off the meat. Not so great to have in your soup. So basically I'm boiling off all the extra protein to make the bones, basically clarifying the bones. So we're making all the fat and other things come to the top, so we have just basically meat and bones and the marrow. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start the oven here. I'm going to set the oven to 450. I'm going to go ahead and preheat this right now, so you can see it's, you can't see that. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to wait for this to boil. We're going to dump all the water off, take the bones out, and then we're going to put them in the oven. We're going to bake them for about an hour. Now, if you don't know anything about Vietnamese cooking, the Vietnamese people were colonized, I guess, by the French. Now, the French are very famous for their soups and some of the other delicacies and foods that they have. And typically what they do is they, when they do some sort of broth or stock like this, they'll bake the bones to get more flavor out of them. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to wait for this to boil. We're going to stick the bones in the oven for about an hour, and then take them out. New fresh pot of water. We're going to scrub this out to get all the protein and stuff out of it, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to wait for this to finish boiling. I want more of this kind of stuff to pop out of it. And then once that's done, drain it, put the bones in the oven for an hour, and go from there. So I'll be back in a little bit. Alright guys, back again. So you can see obviously a lot of the protein's been boiled off. It's been boiling for about 5 minutes. I'm going to give it a few more minutes and then dump this mixture of water and then place it into this sheet here, this baking tin. So I've got my onion halved, and I'm going to go ahead and bake it with the... Oven's done. I'm going to bake it with the bones, so that'll be for about an hour. And let's see, it's about 11:30 almost right now, so I'll come back at 12 to check on these. Actually no, 12:30, so to check on it. I'll be checking in between to just kind of see how things are going, but for now I'm going to go and dump this water off and then place the bones inside the baking pan there. So alright, so I've rinsed the bones off with cold water. One of the things I initially forgot was for the ingredients is actually ginger. So I'm going to put some pieces of ginger in here, and we're going to go ahead and bake this for an hour. So as I said, it's 11:30 right now. I'll come back about 12:30, and then we'll check on the check on how they're doing. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven and let that go for about an hour. Alright, so it's been an hour. We're going to go and put the beef bones into our pot. You can see that the marrow has been cooked and it's looking quite delicious. So we're going to put that in there. Alright, we're going to take our onions. You can see they're nice and soft now. I'm going to throw them in there. Alright, so we've got our pot now. I'm going to go ahead and stick the distilled water in there. Pour that in here. Alright, so that's your 4 quarts right there. So we're going to take 2 star anise. We're going to throw them in there. There's 1 and 2. We're going to take 2 cinnamon sticks. We're going to throw those in there. We're going to go ahead and set this to boil. There we go. Let's see here. What else do we need? I'm going to go ahead and measure out the other parts as well. So, and then I'm going to put some more ginger in there. I'm going to let this boil, and then once it's boiling, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back down to a simmer and then cover it. So, then I'll be adding the other ingredients, and I'll show you how much and of what needs to go into it. Alright guys, so here's, let's see, 2.5 tablespoons of the fish sauce, and then I use Dale seasoning, which has got soy sauce, garlic and onion, and a little bit of MSG. Now, people say MSG is bad for you. It's in meat. You just have to use it sparingly. So there's about a teaspoon of that in there, and we're going to go ahead and dump that in here. Then we're going to take our coriander and our fennel seeds, and we're going to go ahead and dump them in there. And then I usually like to use a little bit of garlic, so I may add some garlic in here, just because it's healthy for you, and I like garlic. So, and then one last thing, once again I forgot to mention, is the ginger. So there's 2 slices of ginger. We had 3 that we put on the meat bones when it went to the oven, so it's cooked, but I'm doing an additional 2 in there. I think that's pretty much about it. So I'm going to let this boil. Once it starts boiling, I'm going to turn it down to a simmer, cover it, and then let it sit for 6 hours. So that's pretty much about it. I'll be back in a bit to show you guys the end result. What we'll end up having to do is take this and then strain it, and then put it into another container, so we got the seeds and some of the other stuff out of it. So it's a little more clarified and not so grainy. So be back in a bit. Alright, so here we are in our 5th hour and 40 minutes. At this point we're skimming the fat off the soup. You can see all the soup there, and the fat on top of it. Now what we'll end up doing is putting this broth portion in the refrigerator, wait for the fat to solidify, and then pour the rest of the broth back into the soup, because obviously this is going to be more than 1 serving. So, but at this point we're trying to take all the fat. See all that fat there? Try to get all that off the soup, because that's not good for you, number 1. And number 2, it kind of kills the flavor and taste of the soup. So I'm going to actually lower the soup a little bit here. Now, one of the things I did do is add a little bit of bacon to this, because obviously bacon's good with everything. So there's 2 strips of bacon in there that I added, just as an afterthought, and that's pretty much about it. So, alright guys, so it's about 7 o'clock right now. So this has been cooking for 6.5 hours, almost 7, and this is what we got right now, which is really tasty looking. I actually added some bacon, because bacon, yeah, exactly. Bacon never hurts anything. So at this point I'm going to go ahead and strain the soup out for the beef bones and all the other stuff that's in there, and then we'll get a just regular broth without anything in it. So I'll strain that and I'll be right back. All right, so there we have the strained portions of the soup. I'm going to go ahead and remove this real quick. And there we have our soup. So that's quite a bit. We're going to go ahead and cook the noodles real quick, and we've got some top sirloin thinly sliced steak that we're going to go ahead and add to this. I'm going to put this back on the oven just to heat up and make sure that everything's still warm while we have it, and then we'll go from there. Okay, guys, so here we are at the final of our pho soup journey. We've got the noodles. I didn't really cook them properly. If you guys have tips on cooking pho noodles, leave them in the comments down below, because
fun noodles?
Pho, they're fun.
Oh.
And pho.
Okay.
So
just checking.
Here's our meat. It's thinly sliced, as you can see. I've got a bowl full of that. I'm about ready to add some liquid to that. You can see we've got a nice
hot broth.
Hot broth. It's awesome. So I'm going to take one of these.
Burn the meat.
And burn the meat totally. So in fact, we're going to take 2 of these. Actually, we're going to take 3 of these. You can see the meat cooking already because it's so hot. This is the pho awesomeness.
Can I have some fun noodles?
You can. They're slightly undercooked. It's like the over-under, kind of like on a bet. But it looks like chicken noodle soup. Sorry. Anyways, so you can add bean sprouts to this, sriracha sauce,
onions, cilantro,
whatever you want.
Spicy.
I like adding my favorite hot sauce, which is 6 million Scoville, but that's a whole nother story. And another video that I actually did about, what, 6 months ago? 5 months ago? Yeah. So
that's because he's crazy.
Yeah, I like hot stuffs. Anyways, so that's pretty much the end of the pho noodle stuff. Thank you guys for watching. Yeah, it's a 6-hour journey to make pho.
Well, it's going to be worth it.
It totally is.
Because I already tasted the soup and it was delicious.
Thank you.
Good job.
So, if you're over in Oakland, there's a place called Pho. And
not as good as yours, though.
King.
Are you implying something?
No. That's the name of the restaurant. Alright guys, so that's the end of the pho video. So I've done this twice so far. And I'm going to have to do it a third time to see how it turns out. But the first time I made it, I skipped the bone baking process. And I went straight from boiling the protein off to dumping out that pot of water, rinsing down the bones, and then putting it back into a new fresh vat of water. Now, when I did that version, when I put it in the refrigerator after the night was done, the next morning it was more gelatinous, which I'm fine with. It's I look at a lot of recipes online, they say it should be more gelatinous than not. So this time around I did the baking of the bones, which is the more traditional way of doing it as far as the French go. And I ended up with a more liquidy broth, which I'm fine with. It tasted just as good as the other one did. But I'm not sure quite what caused that. It could be that the bones I had the first time were more bones and cartilage, not a whole lot of marrow. And it could be that this batch that I did now just recently had more marrow in it than it did cartilage. So I'm not quite sure. So, and it could be the baking process as well, but I'll do this a third time and kind of give a review on it the next time I do it. So let me let me know what you guys think of this recipe. If it's helped you out, trying to make pho for yourself. I'll try and leave the comments or in the description down below. I'll leave the ingredients for what I used, how much, and whatnot. So it kind of varies by taste as well. But all right, guys. Well, as I said, that pretty much wraps it up. Leave a comment in the comment section down below if you have any questions. Like, subscribe, share, and hit that bell button right next to the subscribe button. That'll let you know when I upload new videos. I'm going to have some new videos coming up with some more Iron Man stuff. I'm going to be doing some work on my 1966 BMW. I'm doing a full restoration on that, or at least a partial restoration. And there's a lot more projects to come. So once again, thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, share, and as always, do your thing.